Hey guys, it's your boy Brent, Coffee with Brent on a Saturday, April 22nd. April, oh, it isn't. It's April 11th, 2020. See, I'm trying to jump ahead. You'll see why. I look a mess, don't I? I haven't taken a shower yet this morning. Most people are still asleep in our house, but I decided to try to be a little more real with these and not try to be so fancy. That's really the idea. I really want to talk to you today about waiting. So when you do I've made it clear, if you haven't figured out at this point, I'm a Christ follower. And so some of these, so if you're not interested in hearing anything about God or the Bible, something like that, you might as well turn off. Nobody's watching these right now anyway, so, whatever. You do a read-through Bible in the year, you never know what's going to come up on what date. So on the one I'm doing is a chronological Bible, and here today I'm at a passage in 1 Samuel where Samuel, the prophet, has selected Saul to be the king over Israel. It's not something God wanted for Israel, but they wanted it. And so to paraphrase the words of the, great theologian Garth Brooks, thank God for unanswered prayers. Well, he decides to let them have a king when he was supposed to be their king. And we'll talk about that in a second, why that is and the problem with that. But Samuel gives really specific instructions to Saul while he's setting him up to be king. And he says, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, and then you can go to Gilgal. When you get to Gilgal, you got to wait for me 7 days. I'm going to come offer a sacrifice. Now, the passage I read today, we don't get to that point. We get to him being anointed. We get to him hiding among the equipment. We get to him, gathering people to go to battle against an enemy who wanted to humiliate them. But I thought that it was interesting, the whole waiting 7 days. We don't wait very well. Consider, you'll see later if you read this, that Saul does not wait 7 days. He takes things into his own hands, and it's his downfall. This is Holy Saturday. Holy Saturday is that part of Passion Week, the Holy Week. I think it's called Holy Week, Passion Week, where Jesus, after his earthly ministry, had been crucified, been hung on a cross in a really painful way, and died more quickly than normal. He died to coincide, I think, with one of the Passover lamb offerings that happens during Passover, to represent that, he was the representative for our guilt and taking guilt upon himself. That happens like on a Thursday or Friday, probably early Friday morning around noon. And if you're wondering why I said Thursday or Friday, my father-in-law is a minister and has done a lot of study of this, and he has some thoughts about the whole timing of everything. But so Saturday, everybody's been following Jesus is devastated. It's their normal Sabbath, but it is a time of great sadness and sorrow, and they're having to wait. Now, if they had listened to him, had some understanding, he had said, destroy this temple and I'll raise it up again in 3 days. They would have known they don't have to wait 3 days. Saul was supposed to wait 7 days. And here we are in America, and I'm living in Alabama right now. So there's a stay-at-home order until April 30th. And so that's another 20 days. And so, we're in the midst of some waiting, but we have a problem with waiting. And here's what I wanted to get to. I'm almost 5 minutes in the video. Who's going to watch this? I don't know. I don't care. But if you're still here, this is the good stuff. So when Samuel installs Saul as king, he points out what a bad thing it was to turn away from God. But here's what they were trying to do, and Samuel recognizes it, and here's what we all try to do. Here's what he says to them: "Don't fear, you've done all this wickedness, yet do not turn aside from following Yahweh, following the Lord, but serve Yahweh with all your heart, and do not turn aside, for then you would go after empty things, which cannot profit or deliver, for they are nothing." What the Israelites were looking for is what we're all looking for. They wanted a king because a king represented to them leadership, vision, direction, security, wealth and prosperity. All the things that we seek after in our 401ks, in the houses that we build and furnish for ourselves, in the friends that we surround ourselves with, the families we create for ourselves, the philosophies and belief systems that we grow for ourselves, are all about giving ourselves security and purpose and belonging and direction and prosperity and all these things that we think we need. I really admire Tim Keller. He's a Presbyterian pastor. He's now retired. But he's a book called Counterfeit Gods. And I love that book because I think it really captures the spirit of our age, and what we try to do is that we run after these false gods, these, Samuel would call them, empty things which cannot profit or deliver, for they are nothing. And so we go after those things when what God wants is us to trust Him with all those things, for our meaning, for our purpose, for our identity, for our direction, for our security, and ultimately, even though we may face things in this physical existence that are uncomfortable or distasteful, we can find it. We don't need a king, a deliverer, a president. We don't need a clique, a bank account, a possession to give us everything we really and truly need at a heart level. But we have a hard time with waiting. So probably whoever you are, if you were like, watch this today, you would be waiting for this quarantine, stay at home. You'd be waiting for the novel coronavirus to pass. That would be on your heart more than waiting for Easter Sunday to come tomorrow. And I wanted to share that I feel this sense of anxiety. We're trying to launch a business, and now the business launch timeline has been thrown off despite all my careful, meticulous planning. I did not have a contingency in there for a worldwide pandemic that would slow things down. So I have anxiety. I'm preaching to myself, by the way. I have anxiety about my own timeline and what's going to happen. And, this morning after I read this, I just prayed, God, I need you. Our business needs you. Our family needs you. Everything. Selling this house, need you for that. Need you for everything. Don't know what's going to happen. Not saying I'm only going to believe you if X and Y and Z happen. I'm just crying out that I need Him. I guess the next step is to really depend on Him and not the things that are going on around me. So I don't know who that will speak to today, but if you got this far, I hope it helps you. I hope it blesses you. It blesses you. Anyway, God bless you. Have a great Saturday, a great Easter Sunday if you see this by then, a great regular Sunday if you're seeing it some other time. And if you have any questions, of course, you can leave them, and I'll do my best to answer them. God bless.